And welcome in. Happy to be joined by John Darnell, serves as the Ole Miss sideline reporter on the Ole Miss Radio Network. One of our favorite quarterbacks at Ole Miss and does a terrific job. And is the guy we hear whenever Lane Kiffin is either happy or frustrated at the end of the first half. John, thanks for jumping in for a few minutes.
Hey, glad to be here, Brad. Thanks for having me on.
Um, I mean, what can you say? The start of the season's been really good, 5-0. I'll be honest, I saw you before the game Saturday. And I wasn't real sure about the game in regards to Ole Miss winning on Saturday, but just once again, Lane Kiffin, his staff, and the players did a terrific job and found a way to win.
Oh man, I tell you what, after going back and watching the game and talking to some other people, and what a job coaching our coaches did that day. I mean, to play up against a great defense like LSU, that was the concern. I mean, they spent a lot of money on that defense. I thought their corners were really good. Linebackers were good. Defensive line. I mean, they've really done well at that personnel and that defense. And I just didn't know how we would do. We hadn't played defense that well, that good. But man, what a job we did offensively and defensively, and to get that win, it was a great day.
You kind of look at the numbers and you realize that Ole Miss did actually, outperform LSU in a number of metrics. Number one, they were perfect on fourth down. Number two, just throughout the year, Ole Miss is over 50% on third down. Those are two huge components in winning football games. And it just appears that Lane Kiffin has made mention 2 years ago, 4-0 in one score games. Last year, 0-3. This year, I think 3-0. That's a big component, I think, into winning football games. But this year's team feels to be, while it may not have the talent that last year's team, it's just something I can't put my finger on this team has.
I know it's been one of those years where Simmons goes down and you think, oh well, what do we have in Trinidad? And man, what a player he's been! He's been amazing. The running game, what he brings to the running game, what he brings to the offense is just another dynamic. And I think having a better running game this year has really helped us on a lot of those third downs. Our short yardage offense has just been incredible. And the plays that Trinidad has been able to make with his legs and the play calls have just been spot on. And a lot of credit to Charlie Weiss and, and Coach Kiffin and the rest of the offensive coaches for making those calls in those crucial times. And, what can you say about Trinidad? I mean, he just played unbelievable, made great decisions. And even the throw he made, the interception he threw the other day, I didn't think it was a terrible decision. I mean, we had the receiver in front of the corner, and it just happened to, be tipped up, and the corner made a good play. So, yeah, I mean, I hope we can continue this ride. And, we got open date this week, which is good. Get some people healthier and go into Washington State with a healthier team. But, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of credit goes to this coaching staff.
Yeah, and a lot's being made out of the quarterback position, but what's been very, I think, impressive to me is how not only the coaching staff has handled the situation, the players themselves, Austin Simmons being very supportive of Trinidad Chambliss online, on the field after the game celebrating. It appears to me it's been a complete team effort, and I don't think there's any surprise if you look at it from that aspect that Ole Miss is undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, the first part of the year, you look, okay, who's our leaders going to be, and obviously we're counting on Simmons to lead the offense, and that bad injury, but I think we're a better team with both of them healthy. I think having both of them available is going to be key down the stretch. But yeah, this team has really stepped up. Daugherty on defense seems to be taking over as the leader, and the defensive line has really come on. And Trinidad, what he brings in leadership, being an older player who's played a lot of football. Daquan Wright has been amazing, and the three guys or four guys or even five guys I think we pulled in as receivers, and I'm counting Caden Lee into that, have really been amazing this year. I mean, it's really been fun. It's a fun team to watch.
Yeah, that's I've heard that by more than one person about how fun the team is to watch. I think the LSU game last year just really hurt Ole Miss. But the Florida game, it felt like Ole Miss just completely fell apart, and a lot of that was because of the running game was non-existent. And this year, it's absolutely in existence, and it's a very very strong part of this offense led by Kawan Lacey. And then we saw Logan Diggs come in and have some meaningful snaps against his former team in LSU this past Saturday. But watching Lacey, John, he's got all the tools, and it feels like even when he gets that first line of contact, he rolls off, he tries to get those extra yards. He's a special running back, and he's been really big for Ole Miss.
He is special, and looking at his career, I mean, he didn't play a whole lot last year at Missouri, if I'm not mistaken. So he's still a young player and still going to get a lot better. But yeah, what he brings in the running game has been great. With the and Diggs also being used on the goal line is really a good inside goal line runner. And what Lacey has been able to do without the ball has been really amazing. And if you go back and look at some of the blocks he's made and some of just the hustle plays he's made by getting downfield and blocking on, pass plays. And he's just been really surprised. I mean, not surprised because we knew he was really talented, but he's really come on and played well the last few weeks.
There were question marks headed into the season on the offensive line. Jaden Williams has kind of been banged up, Diego Pounds, but those guys have really anchored both tackles throughout the year. And then Patrick Kudas come in against Georgia State, didn't look really good, had not had a lot of contact, wore a black jersey for a lot of fall preseason camp. All of a sudden, now you look up, Patrick Kudas is the offensive lineman of the week, and Bryson Sanders may be the most unheralded player on the roster, someone that Ole Miss really wanted to solidify that center role. And Delano Townsend, to me, John, the offensive line changed against Kentucky when Townsend came in at left guard, and things have been so much better since then. The offensive line, to me, has improved dramatically.
It has. I mean, that group took a lot of criticism the first couple of games, and have really come on, like you said, really come on. Delano Townsend, he had a knee injury in camp and wasn't real healthy, and what I don't think it was really expected to play against Kentucky, and came in that second series, and we hadn't looked back since. But yeah, Kudas is a guy that's battled a lot of injuries in his career, and but really come on the last few weeks. Congratulations to him. And but they able to use the tight ends in the blocking scheme has really helped too. Daquan Wright and Bruckler. Now we got Luke Haas back, and so I think those guys have really been able to help in the blocking schemes. But congratulations to this offensive line who took a lot of probably unfair criticism early on in the year, but are getting healthy and playing well right now.
And John, I'll add a little bit to that. The protection that Chambliss has had has been fantastic. And a lot of that is because of that offensive line, but it's also been about the chip blocking by Haas. Bruckler comes in, Daquan Wright. But to me, the bright shining star has been Kawan Lacey picking up linebackers. And he's not only blocking them, he's pancaking them. And he is a joy to watch blocking. John, let's flip over to the defensive side of the ball. The defensive front, I think William Eccles, Cam Franklin, have been very, very bright spots for Ole Miss. We knew Harris was going to be good, but we saw Womack kind of take a step forward a little bit. Prince Amami Ellen's kind of coming forward, and then Perkins had his best game of the year against LSU. The defensive front kind of been a work in progress. Pete Golding told us before the year he didn't think the team was going to take that big of a step back on the defensive line. We kind of looked at him a little squirrely, at that much talent being lost. But they've actually not taken a very big step back, in my opinion.
Yeah, they really come on. A lot of those players are still young too. I mean, they didn't. A lot of those guys didn't play a lot last year. We got some new guys that are really coming into the mix now, and we're playing a lot of guys, which is good. I mean, down the stretch, it's going to take everybody. And we got pressure with rushing three. So a lot of times the other day, and credit to those guys, and they really played hard. Linebackers too. I mean, we played several guys in that role, but to me, one of the biggest steps we made this year in the first 5 games is in the back end. I mean, Brian Brown and the job they've done back there in the secondary has it's been amazing. They played well Saturday, and they played a lot of guys, and we're getting some guys back healthy. Ricky Fletcher's done a good job over there. He's been battling some injuries. Now we got Jalen Braxton finally played the other day, the first time he's played, this year. So, yeah, a lot of guys have played back there. So, we're counting on everybody, to fill their role in back there. But, Pete Golding, what a job he did Saturday with, if you told me we're going to rush 3 all day and get pressure on Newsmeyer, I would have probably second guessed that. But, I guess that's why I'm not a defensive coach. But what a job they did.
Wyatt Williams has been someone that's been fun to watch. He was the one that jumped on the fumble when TJ Daugherty ripped it out. And TJ Daugherty, look, we were kind of critical on him the first couple of games, not playing as well as he could have. I thought he played his best game of the year against LSU. Jaden Yates is also somebody he just finds football. I mean, he at linebacker, he just figures out a way, and he's been really good. But to me, Antonio Kite has been one of the special people in that secondary. The transfer from Auburn has been Ole Miss's lockdown corner. And then, John, you named it. You nailed it. Jalen Braxton, someone we hadn't seen all year, significant snaps. And then the second half against LSU, if he wasn't the difference maker, he was one of the biggest difference makers on that defense. What has been your surprise? And I know you talked about the secondary, but what has really surprised you about this defense over the last couple of weeks?
Well, I don't think we tackled very well, in several of those games. We missed a lot of tackles against Arkansas. And, according to the reports, we went back to a lot of tackling in practice, which I think showed up on Saturday just to be more physical. And I think we did that Saturday. And it's going to the competition is going to get even better, here in a few weeks. We got Georgia and, we'll see. But we're really going to tackle well there because they got some really good backs. And but yeah, I mean, just the way they came on Saturday. I know LSU has got the talk about how bad their offensive line's been, but they still got a lot of playmakers over there, and and we were able to stop that run and even play well in the secondary, get a turnover. Last 2 SEC games we've gotten turnovers, which. Everybody said we need to get turnovers, and we hadn't been able to, but we got a big one Saturday, and a big one against Arkansas. Just a great play by Daugherty, and been important plays in winning these football games.
Yeah, and overcoming 14 penalties is it's like something I've never seen, and some of those fouls were egregious. I don't know how Kenny Williamson and his crew came up with some of those fouls. John, I think you look back at how Lane Kiffin manages the game, and he kind of leans on analytics. He leans on the book, if you will. And over 5 years, we've seen him change dramatically. Now, Caden Davis, the place kicker, along with Lucas Cordero, have a lot to do with that. What have you seen in Lane in not going for it as much and punting more? Who, by the way, Oscar Bird was the freshman of the week. Had a great game. How important is it to have that place kicker that's really good? And how much has that played into the factor of Lane being so much more conservative head coach on offense?
Well, you said it. I mean, our kicker Canero's been great. I mean, when he kicks field goals. I mean, I said this to our broadcast crew the other day. I said when we kick field goals, it goes right down the middle. I mean, It doesn't even go to the left or the right. It's not even close. I mean, he did hit the upright there against Kentucky that one time, I think from about 50 yards, but he's been outstanding. And to have a guy like that the highly percentage that he's going to make it, I would have to be part of your decision making on some of those, fourth downs that we might have gone for it before. I mean, Kevin Davis was great last year, but this guy, he's on another level, and he just continues to impress. And to me, would have to play into the decision making, but I don't second guess anymore when we go for it. The play calling's been great, and we've been successful this year with it, and over time we've been successful. I mean, you look back at some of those games that people talk about, the Florida game last year and the LSU game last year. Yeah, we didn't make it, and this year it might be different. with the kicker we have. But we'll see going forward. Hopefully, we can keep making those good calls and keep executing. I think the quarterback being able to run has a lot to do with that. I mean, you can call plays, which he can use his legs to make first downs and make good reads. But he's been outstanding. And that fourth down call against LSU at the end of the game, that's going to be one. It's going to go down as one of the best calls of all times in Ole Miss history and big wins for sure. But what a great play call and execution that was.
You talk about Ole Miss history, John, and Lane Kiffin as head coach. He's basically blowing every record that was set in Coach Johnny Vaught. And by the time he's finished, he may break some of Coach Vaught's records. The numbers are incredible. What are your overall thoughts? I mean, I think this may be the most vibrant time in Ole Miss football history. It's obviously the most vibrant time in Ole Miss history for most everybody watching this and listening to this. Lane Kiffin's very special, and we saw the documentary on ESPN. We understand all the winning that's taken place at Vaught Hemingway Stadium over the last couple of years under his tenure. But you being close to the program, you being on the Ole Miss Radio Network, being tied in, what makes Lane Kiffin so special?
Oh well, I mean, I think everybody knew he was just a great offensive coach when we got him, and just the way the whole program has been run, the way he got ahead of the portal and the NIL, I just think was ahead of everybody. His pro mindset, just the way the team handles themselves. We don't our time management is outstanding. I mean, you look on the other side the other day how they wasted those timeouts. We just don't do that. I mean, I'm not saying we won't ever make a mistake on that, but most of the time we don't do that. And we don't have stupid penalties. Now I know we had 14 penalties on Saturday, and I looked up there one time and I mentioned Davey Kellum and Harry Harrison. I said, y'all know we have 28 first downs and we have 14 penalties, which was just amazing to overcome those penalties. But just the way he handles himself with the team, the leadership, he's been able to show in this program to get ahead of the NIL and the portal and just to handle all that the way he has. It's just been truly fun to watch and amazing.
I know over the last couple of weeks, you were able to reconnect with some of the 1989 team. Coach Billy Brewer, I know you and many others hold Coach Brewer a very special place in your heart. A lot of fun teams from the 80s and 90s. I know that was
Yeah.
special getting to see some of your friends from back in the day.
Man, it was. I was there for a long time. We were being redshirted and staying on as a graduate assistant there for Coach Brewer. So I crossed over a lot of those guys. So anybody that had played for Coach Brewer came back for that Tulane game, and just a lot of fun memories, a lot of good guys. It started in that athletic dorm. We all lived together, and got to be close friends. And I know it's not like that anymore. I don't understand how they can gets to be so close with the portal and everybody moving from team to team. Most of us were there for 4 and 5 years. Some of those guys I came in with, we were there for 5 years together and lived together. Some of us on the same hall. So when you spend that much time together, you eat every meal together. You have those ups and downs and those high pressure situations you're put in. It's just you develop this bond that you never lose. And once we all get back together, it's just like we're back in old Kennard Hall again, sitting there eating together. But it was great. I think some of the people that hadn't been back in a while really found it to be, the way the whole game day experience now has changed. Really saw it. It's truly fun and a great experience now. The way they do everything and all the support we get now from the fans and it's a great time to be an Ole Miss Rebel. But looking back on those years, they're priceless. Really were.
Well, John, before we let you go, I have to ask about the '89 season,
Yeah.
which was special to a lot of us, and that's when you were the starting quarterback for Ole Miss. There were a lot of big wins during that season, some tough losses, but it was finished off by beating Air Force in the Liberty Bowl. What are some fond memories you have back in that '89 season?
Oh man, just coming into that year, we'd come off a year where we had gone 5-6 and it really lost some close games that we should not have lost. And, lost a lot of good players, Wesley Walls and Stevan Moore, Mark Young was on that 88 team. Lost a lot of those players. So really didn't know what we're going to have. But Coach Red Parker did a great job with our offense that year. And, we set a record for passing yards in a season that year for Ole Miss history. And we never got in a shotgun. And we had two formations, and which is amazing now. All the formations and movement that they use, and being in the gun all the time, and the wide open offenses, which they've shattered all those records by now. But just a fun year. Our defense, played well that year. That was the year of Chucky Mullins' injury on homecoming, and that was tough to go through and to watch Coach Brewer and Leroy Mullins, our trainer, how they handled all that situation. Will never be forgotten. And the legend of Chucky lives on still. And I commend the school and the coaching staff, all the coaching staffs that we've had to continue that tradition, because he really was a special guy, a special player. And to end it up that year in the Liberty Bowl with him being able to come and be there was a memory that we'll never forget as a team, and I think as a football program. So, but yeah, to go to Florida and win, to beat Georgia at home, were great games, and we had some really close games that came down to the wire. It could have gone either way, and but had a great season. Ended up in the Liberty Bowl, and it was just a great memories.
Yep, the pass to Reed Hines. Did he catch it? Well, the official said he did.
I have a friend that texts me every year, especially around a Georgia game, and reminds me that he thinks that he did not catch it. But I always just send back. The only thing I text back is the score. That's all I text back. So. Whether he did or not, it was a great ending to a great day there at Vaught Hemingway with us being able to beat Georgia. So anyway, it's it's in the books now, whether you call it or not. We don't have replay now. We didn't have replay back then, thank goodness. But the official, it was right there. Called it a touchdown, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. He's John Darnell, serves as sideline reporter on the Ole Miss Radio Network. He's got a great team around him. Voice of the Rebels, David Kellum, Harry Harrison on color, and of course Brett Norsworthy and Gary Darby, the pre and post game host. Also, he's a quarterback back in the late 1980s, and he's kind enough to join us here today. John, thanks very much for joining us. We'll talk to you at the next ball game.
Thanks, Brad.